Alright, Mr. G here. Welcome to the Magic Candle introductory demonstration. For this assignment, you're going to be observing the demonstration for the Magic Candle, and you're going to be trying to infer as to what's going on. You're going to be talking about as much chemistry as possible and making some inferences, some educated guesses as to what might be happening to cause the observations that you make. You're going to be talking a little bit about what this demonstration is an analogy for, and you'll understand a little bit more as to what I'm talking about here in a moment. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit so you can see all of it. So let's talk about this demonstration. Now, I say the introductory portion of it because this demonstration is special for our class because we do it at the beginning of the course and then I do it again at the very end of the class. And if you can tell me the answer to some very specific questions that apply to this demonstration at the end of the class, I give you a lot of extra credit. Because all the chemistry that's happening in this demonstration really covers a good majority of what we cover in this class, and there's a lot going on here that applies to what we talk about in this class. It's kind of a neat demonstration, so let's talk about it. Like I said, there's an analogy that this demonstration applies to. So what I have here is a big flask. So I'm going to back this camera up a little bit so you can see the entire thing. So it's a very big flask. We call it an Erlenmeyer flask, and you'll get to know the different types of equipment very well in this class. And inside this flask, I have a really tiny beaker that holds roughly 50 milliliters. Then I have a wax candle that is currently lit. And this is sitting on what we call a magnetic stir. Now, what this, it's plugged in, it's an electronic device, and it turns a magnet, an electromagnet. And then there's also a tiny little pill-shaped magnet inside that beaker, which is in the flask. And so as this magnet turns, it also turns that little pill. And so that can stir the liquid inside that beaker. So right now the liquid it's just plain old pure water. It's distilled water, 100% water. And this is going to be an analogy for something that's occurring right now, something that's very important to all of us, and especially yours and my generation. It's a problem that our forefathers created, and it's a problem that we're going to have to solve. Otherwise, we're in deep trouble. Okay? So this flask here represents the earth. Okay? It represents the earth. And that's about all I'm going to tell you. You're going to have to figure out what everything else represents. Okay? Now currently, I have the earth open. Okay? So everything is rushing off planet Earth. That's not normal. Okay? I'm going to finish creating a closed off earth. Okay? Once I get everything squared away and we start the demonstration. I'm going to do that by putting on top of it what's called a watch glass. It's another piece of chemistry equipment. Okay, it's just a curved piece of glass that we put samples in. We can use it as lids for flasks and such. So when I'm ready, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to close the flask off, and you'll know when that happens. I'll tell you. Okay, you won't see it. I want you to be able to see what's happening here. All right, so right now I have water in this beaker, which represents something on Earth. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a chemical inside that beaker. Okay, I'm just going to put a drop inside. It's called sodium hydroxide, NaOH. So I'm going to add that right now. All right, that's been added, and I'm going to turn on my stir so we can mix it all in there. Then I'm going to add another chemical, and this is called an indicator. And what indicators do is they tell us by color of a liquid, of a chemical, whether the chemical is acidic or basic, okay? And so we can tell if this chemical is an acid or a base by the color. And this specific chemical is called phenolphthalein. It's a mouthful. Now, phenolphthalein is clear when the chemical is an acid, and it is pink when the chemical is basic. So let's see if it's acidic or basic. Ooh, so you can answer that question. Again, pink when it's basic, clear when it's acidic. Okay, so again, this all represents something. Now the candle represents something that's happening on Earth as well. It's something man-made. It started in the 1800s, okay? And then again, the beaker also represents something on Earth. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start the demonstration by covering and completing planet Earth. Okay, this creates a closed system, which planet Earth is. Okay, so the demonstration has started. This takes a little bit of time, so just watch. Okay, it might seem like magic. That's why we call it the magic candle, but I tell you it's not magic, it is science. What happened? What happened? So I want you to tell me in your response, in your Flipgrid response, 1, what is the analogy? What are the items in this representing? What does the candle represent? What do you think the beaker represents? What do you think happened? Make an inference. Tell me a little bit about the chemistry that you think occurred. And how does that represent this analogy? What do you think the big analogy is that we're talking about here? Okay? That's the main thing I want you to tell me about in your response. This is going to be a Flipgrid video response. Do the best you can. If you don't get it right, that's okay. You haven't learned much yet. What you're going to do at the end of the class, the entire semester, is you're going to reflect back, and we're going to do this again, and you're going to be amazed at how much you've learned. It's a really cool thing, and it's a really fun demonstration to be able to kind of see what you've learned through the course of the semester. Good luck. Do the best you can. That's all I ask.